Hello, everybody. Welcome to a later Lunch and Learn Live. I'm still waiting for Karissa. She's having some technological issues, but we'll go ahead and get started. We are broadcasting a little bit later today. No, can't hear you, Karissa. I'm sorry. So we'll see if she can get in here today, depending on what the technology gods say. But I apologize, you guys. We had to move Lunch and Learn today. My son sprained his ankle. So I needed to make sure that he was fully taken care of. You all know how that is, you mamas out there and you caretakers. That's just what happens sometimes. So you guys, we are going to talk about today's Lunch and Learn Live is about the toxins that are sabotaging us, that are all over. So as you join in, go ahead and give us a hello in the chat box and let us know. Bring your questions here to Lunch and Learn. This is really an opportunity for us to get to interact with you, for you to get your questions answered. We like to make lots of information easy and accessible for people. So, okay. What if I told you that fatigue, brain fog, stubborn weight gain, hormonal imbalances weren't just about age and stress? What if the real culprit of these things is actually something that you're exposed to every single day, even inside your home, from your shampoo to your salad bowl, from the couch to your toothpaste? Our modern day lives are filled with silent saboteurs. And these are what I call everyday toxins. And today I'm going to help you start to identify them, understand what it is that they do to your body, and most importantly, what to do about it. So you guys, I am Dr. Dee, and I help women uncover the real reasons that they feel off, tired, inflamed, stuck, so that they can reclaim their energy, balance their hormones, and feel at home in their bodies again. So let's talk about what your doctor has probably never mentioned. Okay. And this is what I call, you guys, the rain barrel effect. I mean, imagine your body is a rain barrel, and every day small little drops go in, chemicals in your makeup, pesticides in your food, stress hormones from your stress, processed food additives, even the heavy metals in your water, right? Or that we're breathing in the air. You guys, if your detox system, that means your liver, your kidneys, your lymphatic system, your GI, if it's working well, then that spout at the bottom of the drain there, it allows things to drop out, okay? But when the spout actually gets clogged up, the water rises, and when it overflows, that's what I call symptoms, like fatigue or hormone balance or inflammation or exhaustion or insomnia or brain fog or skin issues or anxiety. I mean, you guys know the bloating, the mood swings, all those things, the autoimmunity, low energy, even though you have normal labs. A lot of these things, you guys, come from toxins. So today I really want to talk about where toxins are coming from, because I think a lot of people aren't aware of all the different things that are actually in our environment. Holy cow, we are exposed to so much on such a regular basis. It is crazy. So let's talk about where different toxins hide so that we can pay attention. I mean, the truth is, you guys, I don't want to live in a bubble. You don't want to live in a bubble. None of us want to live in a bubble, but whatever we can avoid, we want to be able to avoid, because that just sets us up to be in a much more powerful place with our body. So let's talk about number one. And you guys, I'm sharing with you this too, because Wednesday, May 14th begins Dr. D's summer detox. And I don't have a link prepared for you guys to drop in the chat box, but I'm going to drop this link in the chat box for you. I know many of you, those of you who are active clients, you've done our detoxes and you do them over and over again. I know that you love them. For those of you who have never done a detox with us, it's kind of like we've priced it ridiculous. It's like $47. It's 100% guaranteed. It's so silly. So if you've never been into one of our detox programs, click on the link and definitely get in there. But we're going to address some of these things tonight or this afternoon, because I think it's so important. So number one, let's talk about our food, right? Because it's not our food. We are like literally ingesting toxins a lot of the time without being aware of it. So it might be, if you're not eating organic food, it could be the pesticides like the glyphosate, which we know is an endocrine disruptor. We always stress with our clients, if you're going to eat animal protein, make sure it's wild, make sure it's, grass-fed, grass all the way around, not just grass finished, right? But grass fed, make sure that it is, on really great land, make sure that it's wild. Like these are all really important things. Otherwise, the meat industry, the dairy industry, filled with hormones and antibiotics and all sorts of things that get in the way and disrupt, the way that our body functions. And I probably don't need to mention, because it's all over the news, right? Like some states are giving up food dyes. We're, looking at, what about seed oils? Can we remove seed oils from processed foods? But processed ingredients in general tend to contain a lot of things that are toxic. I always tell people you need to be able to understand whatever it is on a food label. And I don't care if you're looking at the front of food, right, where it's marketing. I'm talking about you flip it over, you look at the actual ingredient list. I'm not even talking about the little box that gives you the calories, the fat, the carbohydrates, the protein, that stuff. I mean the ingredients underneath. Okay, because that is the most important piece of information on anything that you are buying. That's not, a solo fruit, vegetable, things like that. Okay, so you want to always pay attention to what is in that list. Okay, so the other place that's really big is personal care products, you guys. It's super important that you're looking out for things like parabens, right? Or phthalates. How do you spell that? It's PHTHALATES, right? Parabens, phthalates, formaldehydes. You'll find them in your soap, in your shampoo, in your conditioner, in your, whatever lotions and potions you're using on your face or your skin or other places. Formaldehyde, for example, is another one. These things are toxic to our body, and your skin is an absorber. It absorbs everything. Okay. Think about it. We sometimes give, perimenopausal, menopausal women progesterone cream that they put, somewhere on their body. Why is that? Because it's directly absorbed through the skin. So everything that touches our skin is absorbed by our skin. People don't even consider like the flame retardants, for example, on clothes. All those cute little outfits for the kids, they're all laced with flame retardants. Please do not buy your children pajamas with flame retardants, for example. Get the tight ones that don't have any chemicals. They usually have a warning that tells you they don't have flame retardants. Look for the warning that says no flame retardants, and that's the one that you want to put your kids in. All right, you guys, other ones like your deodorant. Deodorant often, they're using aluminum in there on top of other products as well. So pay attention. I am in favor too of not using fluoride in your toothpaste. Fluoride is a known neurotoxin. That's why you've seen out in the media and places where they're like, we need to remove fluoride from our public water supplies. Okay, so that's another thing that you want to take a look at. Can you substitute for healthier products that don't contain these things? And the answer is, by the way, you guys, yes. And I think, where we are today with different products is really different than where we were, say, 10, 15, even 20 years ago. There's so much more accessibility than there has been in the past. So that leaves us in a really good place so that we can actually do good for our body. Okay. And there are makeup lines and makeup companies that don't use gross stuff in their products. You want to look out for those. All right. Another source of toxins in our home is things like cleaning products. You guys, I really, I do keep like oh my gosh, what's the company? A seventh generation, which isn't my favorite either, but I do have some, you know, antibacterial bottles laying around for convenience, right? But for the most part, what I use in my house for cleaning are things like vinegar, peroxide, baking soda, essential oils. Those are the easiest, least expensive, least complicated ways of actually keeping your home clean. So a lot of these fancy chemicals where you've got bleach, you've got things you can't even pronounce, things that they're not even putting on the ingredient labels, those are things that you actually want to stay away from. Okay. Those of you who love the beautiful smell, my gosh, I walked into my daughter's apartment at college, and I nearly keeled over from the smell. And these girls are clean. They're so super clean that they're using like Glade plugins in the apartment. And you guys, that stuff is filled with toxic chemicals that you are then breathing in. And these things, they have an impact on our hormones. They have an impact. They're clogging up the spout of our rain barrel. And again, the more and more those toxins build up, the more and more we experience symptoms, the more and more the body struggles. So pay attention to those things. Even candles, if candles are beautiful. I love burning candles. There's something about a flame and watching a flame that's just mesmerizing in and of itself. But if that candle is giving a bunch of artificial fragrances into the air, you're now breathing that in. So we've got to respect that, you guys. So pay attention. What are you cleaning your home with? What sort of things are you using for fragrance in your home, for example? And pay attention. If you are buying new furniture or things like that, you want to pay attention to flame retardants in your furniture, in your clothing products. They don't put it so much in clothing products for adults, but they certainly do for kids, right? So I know if I ever got gifts from anybody when my kids were smaller, the little one is still little, so she still can get flame retardant stuff. But when they were little, some of the people in our family just weren't educated. And so they would buy, cute little pajamas, but those cute little pajamas said right there on that tag, like, hey, contains flame retardant. So you want to pay attention to that. Okay. Okay. How about our water and the air that we breathe? This is important. So tap water, you guys, it is the bottom of the barrel. Okay. Some municipalities have fluoride in their tap water. There's chlorine in the tap water. There's PFAs in the tap water. These are all things that are going to overload and damage our systems. So I always tell people at the very basic level, you have to have some sort of filtration. Minimum, you want to have a Brita thing. I'd call that the very bottom of the level there. Then you can go ahead and do that, but you want to actually upgrade from there. So personally, I have a home house filtration system so that it is filtering all the water that goes through my house. Because don't forget, the water that you shower with, your skin is also absorbing that. Think what happens. You go into the shower, you turn the temperature up high. Now all of your pores are open. There's steam everywhere, and whatever's in your water is just coming right in because your skin absorbs everything. So if you don't have a whole house system, make sure that you also have a filtration system on your shower. So we have a whole house filtration system for our home. And then we also have an additional reverse osmosis system on our kitchen spout. So we use the reverse osmosis for cleaning all of our vegetables. We use it for, any kind of baking, cooking, drinking, all of that. Now, there are plenty of systems out there, so you can find them easily. So for example, my daughter, while she's in college, I bought a countertop reverse osmosis system for her so that she had access to good, clean water. I will give you guys a caveat, a really important caveat. So if you are using a reverse osmosis system, it's great. The reverse osmosis, strips everything out of the water. But here is the kicker. Okay. You do need to add back some minerals to that water. Now, I am not the hugest fan of, even when they came to put the filtration system in on my house, they're like, oh, we can give you high pH water. And I'm like, no, thank you. The reason being is, number one, you don't want water that's too high in pH. That's not good either. You don't want too low. You don't want too high. You kind of want just right. Okay. But number two, what are they using to make the pH high in the water? They're using certain minerals. So now the quality of your water really depends on what the level is, or the quality of the minerals that they're actually adding back into that water. So I personally like to have control over that myself, and I always want to know what it is that's being added to the water. So for all of the reverse osmosis water that we use in my house, I will add the Premier Research Labs, the pink salt. Okay, a pinch of that pink salt in the water always, as well as the Premier Research Labs has the pH minerals. And I'll put that in here. So it is purelabs.com. You guys, if you have an account with us, then you'll just use your Dr. D15 for 15% off. Or use Dr. D15 to create your account. That is by far some of the most important things. Even for our animals, I will go ahead and use the pink salt and the pH minerals for, we have a big container for the dogs because we got 3 dogs and 2 of them are super big and one of them is medium. So all of that always goes even in the dog's water, because it's so important to make sure that you're adding back those minerals again. All right, let's not forget about a big one. Cell phones, anybody? I'm here on my laptop with you guys. Like, the Wi-Fi is a toxin, right? The Wi-Fi interrupts your cells. It interrupts your biofilm. It opens calcium ion channels. So Wi-Fi is an issue, 100%. So you want to minimize your exposure to Wi-Fi. Okay. And if you've got Bluetooth, do not wear Bluetooth. Get rid of those things that people stick in their ears. It's like putting a cell phone tower on your head. What are their AirPods? Yeah. Throw those things in the garbage. Your brain is worth saving, I promise. But you really want to make sure that you are protecting yourself from Wi-Fi. You'll see here, I've got this is the Q disc from Premier Research Labs. So this is the Q6. Okay, that's the Q Disc 6, and you want to go ahead and get one of those on your phone. And yes, if you're using you can use the Dr. D15 in order to get that 15% off of the Q Disc as well. But we have Q Disc on our phone. I've got Q Discs on the laptop that I'm sitting here broadcasting from you guys to you guys on as well. So all of those things are really important. So you want to protect yourself as much as you possibly can. Of course, you guys get outside barefoot on the ground. Hopefully your ground is not covered in pesticides and herbicides. Consider more natural ways to do your lawn care, right? By the way, those dandelions, they're so healthy for you. Not if you're spraying stuff, of course, but they are so healthy for you. So you want to pay attention to those things too, you guys, that are in your environment. And as we're going through, you guys, if you have questions, please drop it in the chat box. I know you guys are watching. Give me a shout out, say hello, so that I know that you're here. Couple quick tips. So number one, EWG.org, the Environmental Working Group, right? So environmentalworkinggroup.org. They have a great app they have a skin deep database that'll give you an understanding of the different chemicals in your products that you're using, whether it's sunscreen or beauty care products, lotions, potions, shampoos, conditioners. So that's a really great one. There is an app also, it's called Think Dirty. So you can do that one as well. Another thing that I like from ewg.org is they put out a list every year. It's called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And they basically do research on different produce products, and they look for what is it that has the least amount of pesticides and the highest level of pesticides. Essentially, guys, it's been the same for years and years and years. You know, any of like your berries, your apples, your salad greens, that kind of stuff, you always want to do organic. I know the corn sometimes comes up better, you guys, but corn is traditionally genetically modified. So make sure that if you're eating corn, you are eating it organic, okay? And I do think, they didn't do it years ago, but these days I do think that they put a little note next to their, to advise you on their list. So those are the things you want to buy organic. So if you're on a budget, you're wanting to figure out what's absolutely necessary, use that Dirty Dozen list, okay? And get some sort of water filtration. And the other thing, you guys, open your windows. Did you know the air inside of our house is generally more toxic than what is outside? And that's because a lot of the times we're keeping the windows closed. I mean, I know I'm here in Texas and summer's coming, and when it's 100-something degrees, we don't want to open the windows. We want to keep the AC on. But it's important, you guys, to try to open your windows, get some of that spaced out. So you guys, awareness is really the first step. Okay. It's actually it's always step one. Being aware is key to understanding what it is that you can avoid. And what matters too is how your body responds. So let's talk about detox pathways. Okay. So whether your detox pathways are open or not open is also a big deal. It's kind of like that spigot at the bottom of the rain barrel. If it's all clogged up, guess what happens? Well, we end up with your body breaking down. We end up with nutrient deficiencies. We end up with, you know, our body gets stressed out. Cortisol blocks detox function. I'll say that again, you guys. Cortisol blocks detox function. If your liver is overburdened, right, then your body's not going to be able to do its job of shuttling everything out. If you're not sleeping well, literally, like your brain at night goes through a flush. So if you're not sleeping well, your brain doesn't have the opportunity to go through that flush. That means your lymphatic system actually gets backed up. Okay. And let's not forget our digestion. So digestion is absolutely key. We excrete toxins through our gut, right? Poop, you guys. Poop is one of the best ways to get rid of stuff out of your body. So if we are not moving our bowels on a consistent, regular basis, that is a cause for concern. Okay. And if you're dealing with GI issues, you want to correct that as soon as possible. It is pivotal that you're actually doing that. Karissa, I'm seeing your comments in here. They didn't show up on where before, but I'm glad Karissa's in there. She's she's in there. Bobby approved is another great app that she says. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. I guess Karissa wasn't able to get on here. She's having some tech issues from time and again, you guys, technology like does its thing. We had that problem last week. We were late again for Lunch and Learn Live because the software system decided they were going to do a fix at the time of our Lunch and Learn Live. But anyway, you guys, so you can't pour more water into a full rain barrel, right? You actually need to open the spout, and that's what detox really is. And when we talk about detox, we're talking about supporting your body. We're not talking about starving yourself. We're not talking about doing harsh things to your body. If your body's toxic and you just kind of open the floodgates without making sure that you're moving your bowels, without making sure that toxins are getting absorbed, you can actually be making things worse, not better. And there's a lot of issues that come with detox, a lot of myths. Like, for example, number one, some people think like detox is doing a juice cleanse. So I am not a big fan of juice cleanses, you guys. All these, you see them advertised all over. Oh, come buy this juice cleanse and we'll deliver it to your house every day. But then you look at what is in there, and a lot of times it is like fruit juices and things like that. They're not doing like a straight greens juice, which would be great for remineralizing, right? but they're doing other things in there like carrots, apples, beets, those kind of things too, that you're taking away the fiber, you're putting just the juice in. Now we're spiking blood sugar. And as we spike blood sugar, guess what happens? We stress the liver. Okay. So I don't include juice cleanses like that when I talk about detox, right? You want to do green juices, celery juice, that kind of stuff. It's wonderful, but let's not add the other stuff. Some people actually think that detox is dangerous. And you guys, here's the thing. If you're doing detox correctly, then you're actually supporting your body. Your body actually is detoxing 24/7. You just want to make sure that you're supporting it in the right way. Okay. And I think another myth is that, well, I eat clean, I don't need to detox. And you guys, that's not the case either, because the air that we breathe, the water that we drink, the stress that we have, the tech exposure, like we already talked about, those affect everyone. And we've got to give our body a break. We've got to give a body a break from those things. We've got to open up the pathways, and we got to allow our bodies an opportunity to really enter a space that's going to be supportive. So a couple of core things here, as I see that we are at the top of the hour for our half hour here. Number one, think about hydrating with minerals. We talked about that. We talked about the Premier Research Labs pink salt, the Premier Research Labs pH minerals. Those are my favorites. Make sure that you're getting in a lot of nutrient dense foods. You guys, veggies, cruciferous veggies, herbs, fiber, these are all really important. Okay. You want real good living, right? We're coming into the spring. This is like, when we do the detox in the winter, I love soups and things like that. But in the spring, raw foods are amazing. During the winter, I'm not like gung ho, let's have a salad. But during this time of year, absolutely, right? A salad feels good in the body. Sweat. Get yourself into a sauna or get yourself moving, but get some sweat and make sure that you are pooping daily. Poop every day. Gut elimination is the key to any kind of detoxification. And you guys, I am a huge fan of castor oil packs, but not the way they are being done popularly today. Okay. So if you're leaving castor oil packs on for hours and hours, I can promise you, because we've tested it a billion times, that castor oil pack is done and it is no longer benefiting you after 10 to 15 minutes. So you don't have to keep it on all day. You should never reuse the same fabric that you've already used. That's another whole thing that's going on out in the world. It's not what I see from our testing, you guys. So if you need good castor oil pack instructions, drop in the comments castor oil, and I will send you the instructions that we give to all of our clients, because that is the way you want to do it the right way. I mean, heck, if you're going to do something, let's do it the right way so you get the biggest impact for your effort. And of course, you guys, the last thing is get your body moving, right? Your body, your lymphatic system needs the movement. So one of my favorites is rebounding, jumping. You don't even need to have a rebounder. You could just jump a little or dance, free dance, right? Free dancing feels good. Start your day with a nice free dance to some kind of music that inspires you and empowers you. Okay, what a way to start your day. Dry brushing, another awesome thing that you can do. So you guys, it is the time of the year. We are ripe into the season for detox. And if you're needing support, join us. We start our guided group detox on Wednesday, right? We'll drop the link for the guided detox right into the chat box. It starts on Wednesday. If you can't make the classes, they're live Q&A sessions, kind of like this, except we're live on Zoom, so we can actually talk and have a conversation back to back more so. But that starts on Wednesday, the 14th. The Q&As are held at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will record all of them. Everything else you also need is provided for you. It's in a portal, from your sample menu plans to the reasons why you're doing anything, to step by step by step by step. guidance. So it's really powerful, and it's starting soon, you guys. So be sure to jump in. That is the detox that we do is 4 weeks. It's a 4-week guided group detox. So, all right, you guys, I've given you lots tonight. Forgive me for going a couple of minutes over, but we look forward to seeing you all next Monday. Have a good day, everyone.